Have you heard the story of the 11-year-old boy who made doctors bow to him? It's a powerful reminder of how one selfless choice can impact countless lives. Liang Yaoyi didn't live as long as most people, but what he did in his short time left an entire country deeply moved and proud. This happened in Shenzhen, a busy city in South China's Guangdong province. A young boy named Liang passed away, and after he did, the doctors bowed to him 3 times. In China, that kind of bow is something you'd only see given to emperors, heroes, or people who did something truly extraordinary. So what did Liang do to deserve that? Liang was just a regular kid growing up in Shenzhen. He was born healthy, full of energy, and lived a normal life like most boys his age. He went to school, hung out with friends, played games, and dreamed big. He used to say he wanted to become an inventor one day, but things took a turn no one expected. One day, when he was only 9, he told his mom he felt dizzy. She figured it was just a mild fever and gave him some medicine from the pharmacy, hoping he'd feel better soon. When Liang got home that day, we didn't think much of it, his mom said. I picked up some medicine thinking he'd be fine after some rest. Maybe a day or 2, but instead of getting better, he just kept getting worse. It got scary fast, nothing like any regular illness. That's when we rushed him to the hospital. At the hospital, doctors ran tests trying to figure out what was going on. The results hit like a hammer. Liang had a brain tumor. It's hard to imagine how painful it must have been for the doctors to explain that to a young boy and his mom, that he had cancer, that he wouldn't be able to do all the things he used to love, that hospital visits would replace school days, and that deep down, everyone knew the chances of surviving were slim. Liang and his parents were heartbroken. The doctors didn't have to say much for them to realize how serious things were. As soon as they heard the diagnosis, his parents broke down in tears. They cried for hours, completely overwhelmed by fear and sadness. The thought of losing their little boy was just too much to bear. But Liang stayed hopeful. He still had dreams and he wasn't ready to give up. He believed that if he stayed strong and kept trying, he could beat the illness. He followed his treatment carefully and went to school whenever he was feeling well enough. Over time, he let go of his dream of becoming an inventor and set his heart on something else. He wanted to become a doctor, someone who could help save lives. A story he had read at school about bone marrow donation stuck with him, and it ended up guiding a decision he made later on. As time passed, though, Liang's health got worse. Little by little, it became harder for him to keep up with school. His energy dropped so low that he had to stay in the hospital most of the time, hooked up to machines just to stay stable. Liang tried to stay positive, but not being able to see his friends or go to school made him feel down. To lift his spirits, his family did what they could. His siblings took turns visiting, and they brought him books to help him pass the time. He read through each one in just a few days, but his care was expensive and his parents didn't have much money to begin with. The financial pressure, along with watching their son suffer, made things incredibly hard for them. The medical team also did everything they could. They kept researching, hoping to find something that would help. They tried multiple surgeries and gave him different treatments, but sadly nothing worked. It was crushing for both the doctors and the family. When Liang turned 11 and there was still no sign of real improvement, he and his parents slowly came to terms with the reality. They didn't have much time left with him. But Liang wasn't ready to leave without doing something meaningful. He'd been reading a lot about his illness and remembered a story he came across in school. That story helped him come up with a decision he felt sure about. One day, while his mom was visiting him at the hospital, he quietly shared his final wish. He wanted his organs to be donated after he passed away. He told her he wouldn't need them anymore, but someone else out there might. Someone who still had a chance to live. That way, a part of me can keep living and help someone else, he explained gently. It's how I can make someone smile and maybe make the world just a little bit better. He wanted his mom to understand just how important this was to him. "There are so many amazing people doing good things," he said. "I want to be one of them. Even if I don't have a lot of time left, I want to leave something behind. I want people to remember that I was here." No mother ever dreams of having a conversation like that with her child. But Lee Kun, his mother, couldn't help but feel proud through the heartbreak. With tears running down her face, she promised to honor his wish. Liang smiled when she said yes. It meant the world to him. He wanted to do something that mattered no matter how short his life had been, and even if he couldn't fully understand just how big his choice was, he definitely reached his goal. After fighting with all he had, Liang passed away. His family was crushed. His mother felt like she was in a bad dream, but she remembered his wish, and she knew exactly what to do to make sure he was never forgotten. Before Liang passed away, the doctors had already been told about his wish. They were deeply moved that someone so young could make such a big decision. Organ donation wasn't common in China. Most people were cremated and very few ever thought to donate their organs. Even finding a willing blood donor was difficult. While China does perform a high number of transplants, second only to the U.S., less than 1% of people who need them actually receive one. Liang may not have fully grasped how big his choice was, but it spoke volumes about the kind of person he was. After his mother gave her final consent, the doctors gathered around the young boy. They knew they couldn't save him, but they could still help him fulfill his last wish. Standing by his side, they bowed 3 times. This gesture, usually reserved for emperors, deities, or people who've done something incredibly noble, was their way of honoring Liang. A few moments later, they carried out his wish. His kidneys and liver were successfully donated and given to others who desperately needed them. Not every hero wears a cape. Some are 11-year-olds with hearts too big for their short lives. Liang Yaoyi lives on in the people he helped, and in the hearts of everyone who hears his story. His mother, Li Kun, said, "I'm so proud of Liang. He was only 11, but he did something that most adults never even think about. I know he made a difference, and I believe he'll always be remembered. He taught me and his siblings so much in such a short time. We'll carry those lessons with us forever. People need to hear stories like this because kindness like Liang's should never be forgotten." So what do you think about organ donation? Let us know in the comments. And if Liang's story touched your heart, give this video a like, share it with someone, and don't forget to subscribe for more real stories that matter. Thanks for watching. See you next time.